In this video, I would like to demonstrate how to work with image files. But first, I would like to point out that we do not only have image files, but also non-image files. To show you what I mean, in any website, there is a folder for images and there's a folder for other files. If I click on the other files folder, it will show you the type of files that are stored in this folder. This is stored there when you upload files that you link to in any article that you create. But for today, and how to demonstrate to work with the images, because we mostly do work with images, I will only look at images. When you open your top level images folder, you will see a list of all the images that you have. You can change your view of the list of images by using that icon, which is what you see currently, or by listing them like you would see, for instance, in your Windows File Manager. Sometimes when you have lots of images, you may want to search for the images here, or you may want to search for your images in that view. Another thing that I would like to point out is that sometimes amongst your images, you will find other little files and images which you do not recognize, which you have not uploaded. Be aware that it may have been uploaded by the system itself when the system was created in the first place, or it may have been uploaded by me to use for certain areas and certain functions of the website. For instance, we have an HTML file. The name of that file would be index.html. Those type of files are necessary for the proper functioning of the website. You may also have other little files that you would not recognize. For instance, that little icon there, also that icon, which are small little files that I would have uploaded to the system to use somewhere. Be aware that not all the images that you will see there are uploaded by you and should not be tampered with. Otherwise, we may break the website. Let's have a look at finding an image file for you to work on. You will see that we have a filter field to be able to find any one image. But it would assume that you know what you're looking for because it searches for an image by its file name. If you haven't given it any proper name that is recognizable or usable, then it would be worthless to try and use this filter. For the purpose of this demonstration, let's assume I'm looking for images, let's say HTML. If I type HTML in that field, then only the HTML file will be showed. If I know that I've got a cancel image about cancel somewhere, if I type in can, then you can see that it will find any image with can in it. This is how you can use that filter field. The other thing that is necessary to work with image files is you must be able to select a file, select an image before you can work on it. For instance, if you want to work on that image, then simply click on it and it will select it. How do you know that it's selected? That little icon shows you how it has been selected. You can select more than one file to work with, more than one image if you want to work with it. And to do that, you need to hold down your Control key on your keyboard and then press or click on the image, the other image that you want to work. For instance, you want to work on that image as well as that one. Click on that one as well, and both of them will be selected. But normally, you would only work with one image at a time. Let's assume I want to work with that image. First, I select it. When I select it, you will notice that you get the opportunity to be able to delete it, or if you hover over the three dots, you will be able to do any of these. So I'm going to explain these bottom up, starting with copy URL. Copy URL tells you where this image is stored. So if I just drag it over there so you can see, starting from the back, there you have your image name, the directory in which it is stored, and then to show you the domain on which it is used. Now, I'm not sure why we would want to do this, but yeah, maybe it would be something that we want to do in the future, but normally it's not something that you would use very often about it. You will see that our image is still selected. If I now click on view, it will just show you the image, just a view of the image in its full scale. But this is exactly the same as by clicking on the image on the right hand side. You click on the image, you get exactly the same. So this would be the easy way to view the image. Next up would be to rename an image. We have talked about naming conventions in the previous video. Please make sure that you use the advice that has been given there in naming. This application, for instance, will sometimes not work properly if the naming would include certain characters that are not allowed. For instance, apostrophes. Apostrophes will not work well in this application, but also in other applications on the website. To rename that file, we can simply click on that function. You get this input box to be able to change the name. You can replace the whole name, or you can just change parts of it. So in this case, I will just remove that bit which says Joomla and powered by, that's what I want to keep. Notice the name at the bottom. If I now click OK, you will see that the name is now changed to powered by only. And the image, of course, becomes unselected when you do that. So if you want to work further with this image, click on it again to select it. The next thing that we will look at is how to move an image from one folder to another, and how to copy an image from one folder to another. For that, any combination of cut and insert or copy and insert will work together. So to demonstrate, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and move it, let's say, to the headers folder. I select the image, I select the cut function. Remember, I'm not really cutting it. If I click on it, which I just did, you will see that nothing really happens. But what happened in the background is that this image is now being placed on your clipboard. So if I now go to the headers folder and I go back to my menu and click on insert, the image would have been inserted on this page. But remember, we used cut. It means that in the original folder, that image wouldn't be there anymore. So effectively, it has been moved from this folder to the headers folder. Now let's assume that we didn't want to move it. We really wanted to copy it. I select the image, go to my menu, click on copy, which again places it on my clipboard. Then go to the folder where I want to copy it to, which is the top level folder, the images folder. I now click on insert, and it inserts the image for me on this folder. Just to verify, if I go back to the headers folder, the image is still in the headers folder. So I didn't move it, I just simply copied it. The next function that we're going to look at is to remove or to delete an image. This image doesn't belong in this folder, so I need to select the image. The moment I click on select, the function to delete the image appears. And if I now click on delete, I'm giving a second chance to confirm that I want to delete it. If I don't want to, I can simply click cancel. But if I do want to delete that image, I click on OK and it's deleted. be aware that if you delete images, but you have articles that point to those images, that link in the article will be broken. It is good practice to delete the article first and then remove the images from the system. Older images that aren't used anymore should really be removed. To summarize, be careful. Do not tamper with images that you have no clue about. For instance, they may be very important for the website to function properly. Also, if you look at the tree structure, you will find certain folders that you normally wouldn't work with, like the banners, like the headers, like sample data. Never work with those folders or any folders that has been created by me or someone else, which doesn't contain any of the images that you work with. Create your own folders. Also create folders which you link to the pages on your website. For instance, if you create a folder news and you upload images there, it would contain the images for your news page. If you want to upload images to gallery, make sure that you have a subdirectory gallery and then even subdirectories to the gallery to split all the albums that you create on the website. So a very good practice would be to create a folder for every page that you use to insert images onto the website.